What is happening, everybody? Steve with Rake and Profit, and I'm actually here with my main man, Cody Hawk, and we're representing the K Business Academy, kbusinessacademy.com. And today we're going to be talking about a few different things related to Kindle publishing and all that good stuff, self-publishing. And more specifically, today we're going to be talking about the cover creation process, which is really, really important when it comes to publishing. But before we get into that, I want to introduce Cody Hawk if you don't know him. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Cody, and why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, and just give a little background.
What's going on, guys? My name is Cody Hawk, and I publish videos over at Cody Hawk. I got a YouTube channel, got a website, freelancerwrangler.com, that I run all my little passive income and active income businesses, including publishing. So we're really excited here to talk to you about some different ideas and methods and processes we utilize when it comes to the cover creation process.
Absolutely, man. And why don't you tell them a little bit about our recent launch of the K Business Academy? Why don't you tell them what exactly it is? You know, what do we talk about? What do we teach people? And what would you find inside if someone was to subscribe to that type of membership?
Yeah, the K Business Academy is a pretty cool course. It definitely surpassed our expectations so far. We launched just under a week ago, and you'll find all kinds of amazing information. We've got 26 modules, close to 50 videos inside, with almost 50 pages of PDFs to go through. We've got an amazing community that's just been buzzing. It's been a lot of fun. I know I'm in there all the time, and so are you. We've got a bunch of bonus videos. That's the cool thing. You're not just going to learn Kindle, but you're going to learn publishing as a whole. I know that Steve's really dove into CreateSpace and audiobooks, and I've done that myself. You'll learn the processes with VAs. You'll learn basically every step from beginner, intermediate, and advanced. We talk about marketing. We talk about reviews. It really is the course that covers the entire self-publishing realm.
Yeah, one of the things people have been talking about most, and I'm going to say this real quick and let's get into the good content, but the thing I've been hearing most from the people is a lot of people have been enjoying the live case study, which is inside the course as well. And that's pretty much a series of videos that I created, just bringing you guys through the whole process of me publishing a book. So I actually share a book that I published. I talk about choosing the niche, creating the cover, creating the content, and just going through the whole process. And I actually did an update video about 3 months after it was published, and it's been really doing well. So if you guys are in there, if you're part of the K Business Academy, make sure you check out that live case study, because it's really, it's just really cool to see the entire process. But with that out of the way, again, I want to thank everybody for coming by and checking us out. We're probably going to be live for about 30 minutes or so. It's going to be somewhat short and sweet today. So if you guys have any question, guys and gals, make sure to drop it into the comment section below. Cody and I are going to be looking through there and answering questions and helping you guys out. But really, today's show is going to be geared towards the cover creation. So to kick things off, let's actually talk about, Cody, why don't you talk about for a minute and let everybody know, why is it important when you're publishing on Kindle or CreateSpace, whatever type of publishing you're doing, why is it so important to create a high quality cover? I mean, it might sound simple, but what's the real reasons behind that?
The big reason behind it is it really allows you to separate yourself. So the age-old saying from, when you were a little kid in grade school is, don't judge a book by its cover. But the unfortunate process to it is people do judge a book by its cover. It's kind of a sales tool. It's the first thing they see. It's a visual aid. So when you're scrolling through a page, let's say Amazon, and it's all white and you've got a bunch of different books, you're gonna gravitate towards things that jump out at you, things that you see that look good, that are nice photographs, that are different from all the other things you see. And you'll find that if you scroll through a lot of books, whether they're traditionally published, self-published, whether they're Kindle or whatever they happen to be, you'll see a lot of regularities, a lot of similarities. It's almost like people are playing it too safe, and you'll see a lot of copies of the same thing. So the cool thing about cover is it really gives you the flexibility to be different.
Are you there? I was losing you for a second, Cody.
Oh, I think, yeah. Did you get the rest of that?
I didn't catch the end of that, but I got the gist of what you were saying, man. And I agree with you. Like a lot of people, they're not taking risks. They're kind of doing the same exact thing. And if you guys are on Amazon right now, just type in a few different keywords. It could be gardening, crochet, photography, making money online, and type those keywords into the Kindle search bar. And you're going to notice that a lot of the covers look exactly the same. The color schemes, you'll notice a lot of them have just the text at the top and then they have the graphic at the bottom, and it kind of just fades into one another. It's exactly the same. So, I mean, it's really important to kind of stand out of the crowd and just differentiate yourself from other covers. And if that means, taking a risk or, pushing outside your comfort zone and making something that looks odd or weird, honestly, I'd rather go that route, because when you're part of like a huge crowd like on Amazon and Kindle with certain topics and niches, you want to stand out and you want to do whatever it takes. And that kind of leads into branding. What do you think about branding, Cody, when it comes to creating a cover? Maybe if you're doing a series or just kind of making your brand known. So when someone comes across a book, they're like, wow, that's Cody Hawk's book, or that's Steve Rakin's book, or if you're using pen names, that's whoever's book that is within that niche. What's your thoughts on branding?
Yeah, branding is everything. I focus a lot on branding in all my businesses, and publishing is no exception. It's really important. I was actually answering a question similar to this in the community this morning. But when it comes to a brand, you're going to be able to differentiate. So for an example, let's say Tim Ferriss. It's well known that I'm a pretty big fan of Tim Ferriss and his work. If he puts out a book, I'm buying it no matter what. If it's $100, in fact, he just put out his TV series, for those of you who don't know, a little shameless plug for my boy Tim. And he put it on iTunes. I bought it that fast. I don't need to see previews. I don't need to see nothing, because I'm comfortable with the quality that he puts out. Kind of like our course. We were selling through the roof because people know that we provide high quality, a lot of value, a lot of information. So when we put our course out, it was flying off the virtual shelves. So you want to build that brand to where when you put a book out, people say, hey, so-and-so put a book out. And it could be a pen name. I mean, for all honesty, Mark Twain was a pen name. And that's one of the most famous writers ever. And that was a pen name. So whatever that name is, you build a brand around that, and so-and-so puts out a book in fitness, and you're buying it because you're comfortable with that quality. You're comfortable with what they put out. It's the most important thing to do.
Absolutely, man. And I can't say it enough. I've said this so many times. It seems like a broken record. You could literally have the best content, like the greatest book written. You could have an excellent title. You could target certain keywords that are really popular. You could make a great description. You could do everything right. But I believe if you really cheap out on a cover and it doesn't stand out and it's not unique and it looks amateurish, your sales are really going to plummet. Like, seriously, that's why it's so important. And a lot of times what I do is I've actually been experimenting with multiple covers. So I'll buy a few covers sometimes and I'll split test it. And I found that really helps to bring in more sales. So for example, one thing that I do is I'll actually get a few covers and I'll put one cover up. And once I run it through the reviews and everything and it's selling, I'll put that up for maybe a week or two and kind of track and monitor how it's doing. And then after that, I'll switch it with another cover and see how it does, and kind of play the results back and forth. And I know Cody's really big into marketing, and you could probably touch on this a little more too, but what do you think about split testing when it comes to covers, or just split testing in general? Is that something that you advise?
Yeah, split testing is important. And keep in mind that when he's talking split testing, he's talking about doing it for a week, then changing it and do it again. We're not talking about having the same book up twice. That's against the terms, just to clarify what he's saying. But yeah, split testing is huge. I've actually got my I've got a virtual assistant manager. I've talked about this before in videos that I've done on my channel. And ultimately what I do is she keeps a spreadsheet. And for all the new books, we run a cover for 2 weeks. Then we switch it out for 2 weeks, and we actually look at all the data and we compare the data. And we do this for all of our new books. So every time I publish a book, I get a minimum of 2 covers. Sometimes I'll even do a couple more. And some of my older books, if they start becoming stale, I've switched out the cover, and that alone has helped boost sales, looking at different types of covers. Because like right now, what's trending? I know that you've got really into vector covers, right? That's really hot right now. Those are doing well. In 6 months or a year, there could be a different type of cover. So if you switch them out and you split test things, that alone could be repurposing your content. I know you're really big in repurposing your content.
Absolutely. And to do this and keep track of it, if you're not really like good at organization, it could seem a little overwhelming, but honestly, it's really not that hard. If any of you guys are listening and you're, like I said, you kind of have a hard time keeping track of things and you're thinking, I don't know if I could do split testing. I can't keep track of this and go back and forth. Actually, it's really easy if you utilize some of the free Google technologies. And I actually just put a bonus video out on the K Business Academy course the other day talking about this. And I really like to use Google Drives. So I'm using the Google Docs. I'm using the Google version of Excel spreadsheet, whatever that's called, Google Sheets. And pretty much you could just, make a row called the book title, a row called the ASIN, and then you can kind of write other things down like the date and whatnot. And you could split test something and you could put how long you put it down and then go back a few weeks later and update the information. And it's just really easy to keep track of that. You could actually have your virtual assistant do that. And the cool thing about the Google technologies is it automatically saves. So unlike Excel or Word, I don't know nowadays if they're working off the cloud or whatnot, but you could put something in and you could accidentally, turn your computer off or X out, and it actually saves whatever you put there. So that's really cool. And you could also access it from anywhere in the world. So say you go on vacation and you're in Jamaica and, you don't have your laptop with you, but you have access to a computer. You could actually go into your Google Drive and access it anywhere in the world and check out, how your split test is doing. So that's really big. And leading into the next thing, I actually want to talk about, because this is important. It's, it's easy to say, get a great cover done, make it different, make it unique, make it high quality, stand out from the crowd. But the real question is, where do you find people to do this? And I know there's a lot of people who use one certain website that starts with an F that we're going to talk about. But I also want to talk about, alternatives to this website, which is Fiverr.com, and different ways to find graphic designers that can really do a great job. So Cody, why don't you first and foremost talk about maybe some of the pros and cons to using Fiverr.com, and then we'll lead into other ways that you can find graphic designers for covers.
Well, I'll be brutally honest. I mean, I love Fiverr and I use it for little tasks in all my businesses, including covers, but Fiverr, the big pro is the cost. Now, if you really, really search and you do your research and you spend a lot of time on Fiverr, you could find a couple high-end graphic designers. But one thing you'll see is it's a revolving door. They're not going to stay. So with Fiverr, it's fantastic, especially if you're new, to get in there for $5 and get a cover. The con, and there's a decent laundry list, is everyone's got the same cover. Everyone's using the same templates. Everyone's using the same fonts. Everyone is doing the same cover with the same pictures. They're just flip-flopping them with different titles and stuff. That's what I was talking about a minute ago. When you scroll down Amazon and you see a lot of the same, maybe it's a different color. Maybe one's red, one's blue. They got different. One's got a dog, one's got a pony. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of the same. And so Fiverr really fails when it comes to getting high quality covers. And frankly, for me, I've found myself getting less and less and less covers on Fiverr, to the point where now I get almost none of my covers done on Fiverr. Not that it's a bad site, and it's a great place to start. And I've probably gotten over 100 covers on there before, but it's just, it's too much of the same.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great for when you're getting started, and you could definitely do well. I mean, I've made most of my money by publishing my books with Fiverr covers using a few graphic designers on that website. And, one of the pros is it's cheap and you can get something that's decent quality. But I think really, as time goes on and more people get into Kindle, more people get into CreateSpace, more people getting into self-publishing, the internet keeps getting bigger and bigger. I know there's more Amazon markets opening up all over the world in different countries. I know the other day I checked my royalties and it was like 15 different countries. I was like, holy mackerel, we're all over the place. But you're really going to want to stand out and separate yourself from the crowd. One of the cons, one of the downsides that I've been noticing lately, and I'm not sure if you touched on this, Cody, is recently I've been noticing that these cover designers, these graphic designers who used to be able to deliver your book within 1, 2, 3 days, now it's taken 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. I actually use this one girl who's awesome, does good work. Again, a lot of the covers look the same as other people's, but she does good work. And it's taken up to 10 days now. It's getting harder and harder to get it delivered on time. And as you guys know, and I'm telling you right now, if you're just getting started in Kindle publishing, nobody's waiting for you. If you're publishing a book on, let's just say basketball or football, whatever it is that you want to write a book about, if you're hiring out the writer and you're hiring out the reviewers and marketers and promoters and formatters and you're getting the cover design, there's somebody out there doing the same exact thing and they're moving, right? They're trying to get that book published. So it really is a race at times, and you really want to get it out as fast as possible. So that's why I think, and I'm going to lead into this next topic, it's really important to get your covers done quickly, because when you're waiting to get your cover done, somebody else has already published their book, they're marketing it, they're optimizing it, and they're moving ahead. So let's actually talk about another website that I've actually been starting to use for graphic designers. I primarily for writing, But that website's odesk.com. So, Cody, have you ever used that to try to find graphic designers? I know you use it for writers and whatnot, but you mind sharing some insight on that?
Yeah, Odesk, you can really start to build a relationship with some graphic designers. So unlike the revolving door with Fiverr, I've utilized Odesk to really get some quality graphic designers. And I've started building relationships with them for a while now. And that's one of a few different sites that I use where you can really have a lot more flexibility. Yeah, you pay a few dollars more, but I think you guys would be surprised. And you also would be surprised in the sales volume. Think of this. If you're going to go out and buy a Chevy Cobalt, I don't know, that's still a thing, right? Like a Chevy Cobalt or a Chevy Corvette, like what, there's going to be a lot of differences, right? There's going to be a lot of features. There's going to be a lot of overall luxury in this side. And there's just going to be some random, junky car over here. No offense if anybody's got a Cobalt, but I'm trying to think of like a lower end car. So if you look at that, it's the same type of concept. If I'm investing $20 into a cover, but it's going to help me sell my book long term, I'll invest $20-$30 into a cover every single time. And I do, not always, could be 15, could be 20, right around there, 20, 25, but it'll help me sell my book and it'll make my book stand out. So that's really why I use Odesk.
Absolutely. And the cool thing about Odesk as well is you can actually personally create a job and receive applicants for that job. You could talk to them, you could communicate with them. And I highly recommend before you hire anybody, regardless if it's a graphic designer, a writer, editor, formatter, whatever it is in relation to your business, I highly recommend that you really go through a nice, extensive interview process with them and kind of get a feel for, maybe some samples of work, what some of their strengths are, some of their weaknesses. Do they know how to use Google for, delivering the writings or the graphics through the systems that we use? What are their strengths, what are their weaknesses? And that's the really cool thing about Odesk is you really have more of like that human interaction, and you can kind of find someone just who's right for you and your personality. So just recently, it's actually a few months back, I got into audiobooks with ACX, which I've been having a lot of success with. Highly recommend Audible. And I was looking for somebody to convert my Kindle books into ACX books because it's like a little different of a dimension. They're actually more of like a squarish cover versus like a rectangle. So I went on there, I posted the job, and I found the person. And it was really cool because I couldn't find anybody on Fiverr to do it. There was a few of them, but they didn't respond to me. I asked questions and never got back to me. They didn't have much feedback. So Odesk is really cool for that. Have you ever used, and I haven't used this site for this, Elance? Do they do that type of stuff over there?
Yeah, I've used Elance, and I find that I'm getting better prices, better quotes on Odesk. And then some people will even use 99 Designs, but that's going to be typically for a little bit higher end. I know that a lot of really popular authors have utilized 99 Designs.
Do they charge $99 for each design? Is that how it works?
Well, it varies. You're going to get multiple different quotes. And so you're going to get a whole bunch of different quotes for each project, and you'll have one to pick from. Like I said, it can be more expensive. I would recommend 99 Designs, maybe a little bit more for a personal book or a book where you're doing Create Space or a full package like audio, Create, and Kindle, something like that. 99 Designs would really be a value, but it's a bit more expensive, but that's another option for you.
So recently I've been thinking about doing this, and I haven't really done it yet, but I understand, and I hope everyone else does too, the importance of really getting a high quality cover done. So I've been trying to think outside the box in terms of how I could find more really good graphic designers. And I've been actually thinking about creating some posts on Craigslist and maybe trying to find some people locally that I could work with. If anyone's ever done this, definitely leave a comment in the comment section. I'm going to go in there right now and say hello to everybody. But Cody, have you ever done that? Have you ever posted like graphic design jobs or maybe writing jobs or anything like that on Craigslist in your local market?
I have, but not for Kindle. I've never done writing, but I've done some graphic stuff for some businesses I've worked on Craigslist. Worked out pretty good. I've even considered potentially hiring a graphic designer at some point because you look at all the different graphics you got to get done. But I think it's a great option. Sadly, there's a lot of people looking for work, and there's a lot of freelancers. So I'd recommend building relationships, with different freelancers if possible.
Absolutely. So I'm actually in the comments section right now. I want to shout some people out because, we really appreciate you guys coming and spending some time with us to get educated and learn different ways that you could step up your game, because I know there's so many other things you could be doing. I know outside right now, it's actually warm. It's nice. It's beautiful. So you could be out hiking, riding your bike. You could be out having a drink at the bar. I don't know what you do, but we appreciate you guys being here. And we actually got Thrift School in the house. Haven't had much luck on Odesk. I get most of my applicants through Elance/freelancer at a great price. As far as I know, just a newbie perspective. So yeah, I mean, that's one thing, thrift school, that we've heard as well. People are having some trouble lately on Odesk. But it's like that on all the websites. I mean, I can't say it enough. You kind of got to kiss a good amount of frogs sometimes to find that right writer, that really good graphic designer, that editor, that formatter, whatever you're looking for. So definitely hang in there. And, the key is to just keep putting out those applications, keep looking. And when you find somebody good, keep them close, give them a tip. Treat them like a person, send them out a present now and then or something unique, something different to really stand out. And that's definitely going to help. We also got Dave Koziel in the house. Cody, Dave says, I drive a Cobalt. I think you offended you offended one of the watchers. So if Dave's actually part of KBA, if he leaves, that's on you, Cody.
Well, Dave ain't gonna leave, and also with all that money Dave's been making, he'll be driving. I talked to him the other day. I think he's getting ready to shave his head, skin bald, and I think he's getting ready to buy a Porsche. So I think he's talking about it either way, shaved his head, skin bald, or growing out a ponytail and popping on a Porsche with all that Kindle money he's making. So I think Dave will be just fine.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I could dig that. Dave says,
I can see him in a ponytail.
You know what? Believe it or not, when I was younger, I'm actually going to have to pull out this picture. When I was younger, I don't know, I must have been like 9 or 10. I actually had a ponytail. There's a picture of me playing Little League with a ponytail. It's in my wall of my house. I'm telling my parents, take it down. Why do you have to have that up?
No, I had long hair. I didn't have a ponytail, but I had long hair when I was a kid. And just a side note to Dave, I do know how to French braid because I have 2 daughters. So if Dave gets a ponytail, I know we talked about meeting up. Maybe I could help him out. There's options. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. All right, let's see who else we get in here. Actually, Dave has a question saying, from your guys' experience, what is the best thing to do to get an older book selling again after sales have fallen off? I have switched covers, changed categories, changed keywords, changed prices, etc. And it seems on some books, one strategy works, some books, a different one works, and some books, none work. Real quick, I want to touch on this. I know Cody's ready to shoot off and answer this as well. One of the things that's really helped me with books that are maybe dead and need to revive them is to make sure that you keep putting them through the KDP Select program. I noticed a lot of my books, I actually have a book on, believe it or not, actually it's herpes. And I know some of you guys are going to love that topic, but I actually had a book on that I created way back when I got started. I actually stay away from stuff like that nowadays. I created a book on asthma and herpes, and it's just, I found that as time goes on, I kind of like to stick with things that I maybe know more of and more interested in. But I had a book on herpes, and it was actually dead. It wasn't making any money for a long time, and I ran it through the KDP Select program, marketed it, promoted it, got like 10 or 12 more reviews on it, and it's doing really well. I'm not sure if it's still doing well, but it was doing really well for the longest time after that. And that really helps. So make sure you're creating systems to keep yourself accountable. Again, I use a lot of the Google technologies for keeping track of when a book is going to be going back into the KDP Select program. But make sure you put it back in there every 3 months, run it for free for 5 days, get reviews on it. And again, like you're doing, man, keep changing the categories, keywords, prices, manipulate the price. Sometimes you can lower it down to 99 cents and it'll help you rank higher. But, if all else fails, just move on. I mean, a lot of times, and I don't want to say a lot of times, but once in a while, books will die, and it's just the way it is, and just move on. I mean, learn from your mistakes, or, you're not going to be perfect, but if you're right 6 or 7 times out of 10, you're going to do really well. What are your thoughts, Cody?
Yeah, I mean, not even 6 or 7. I mean, if you could bat 300, you'd be in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? And so 3 out of 10. But it's one of those things where the cool thing about publishing is you could bat, a 600, realistically, 700. It's possible. So, for me, I do a lot of split testing like I was talking about. And then you put out an awesome video in the KBA about keeping track of your KDP Select, right?
Yeah.
That Google. And frankly, I was guilty of that. I was keeping a spreadsheet.
Oh, no. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. And then Steve put out a video that is 10 times better than the method I was using. And it's in the Kindle Business Academy that breaks all this down.
Free software.
Yeah, and he goes through the entire process. It's really cool. And yeah, I mean, so just keep pumping on it. But the thing is, you know, it's like anything. What's working at the time, and also books are going to have waves. I have a lot of books that'll do this. You know, different times, different trends. Some of this stuff, short form content. There's books that kind of come and go. So just look at the bigger picture and keep, you know, testing and playing with it.
Absolutely. Back in the comments, we got a comment from Jim Stewart 3 minutes ago. The average Odesk graphic design charge is in the $20 range. Is that right? You know, it sounds right to me as long as it's good quality. Again, you know, it's like Fiverr. It's like almost like Walmart did and Amazon. A lot of times they bring down these prices like so low, and then people are like, that's the average price. I mean, think of it, of a graphic designer. What does a normal graphic designer in the real world, you know, in the physical form make per hour? 40, 50, 60, $100 an hour?
Yeah. A freelancer charges like $100 an hour minimum, you know, and we get these things, we get these Walmart things, and they pump all these crappy products, and you get to the point where you're like, I'm not paying X for this, you know. Instead of buying a good quality, you'll buy a man-made loaf of bread for like 90 cents, and you'll think you're actually getting nutrition. Instead of buying real bread, you'll go to graphics and say, oh, graphics are supposed to be $5. They're not supposed to be $5, you know. They've got like these systems and stuff to spit these things out. But at the end of the day, if you want quality, $20 is pretty reasonable. I've found graphic guys or covers for less than 20, but also volume speaks volumes, right? So if I can say 10 covers at 15 a piece, a lot of times I'll say yes. But if I say one cover for $10, I'll be like, you're wasting my time.
Let me ask you a question, because this is going to relate to what I'm saying. Cody, how much did you spend on those headphones?
My wife bought them for a Christmas present, but I mean, they cost a bit.
Yeah, it was a good amount of money, over $10, over $20.
Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be a comparison right here. So you spend over $10, $20 because a good quality headphone, it's going to cost you $50, $100, $200 if it's really good, more. This is what happens when you go to Walmart and you're cheap and you spend $10 on headphones. Is that supposed to happen? Is that supposed to happen? I don't think it's supposed to happen like that. So that's just an example right there. If you go cheap, it's going to work. It'll maybe do the job. But
look at how these are nice form fitting and everything, and yours are all screwed up. They're not even on your ears.
The ear's
and
not
dissing your headphones.
Oh, I'm dissing right now.
I'm surprised you don't own a headphone company with all the money you're making. But besides that, you know, it's all about quality. Do you want Reagan's headphones or mine? Do you want that quality or this quality? And that's what myself and Steve have been looking at. It's like, because I've done that a million times. I've got cheap, crappy ones just like everyone else. And it's about quality. If you want your book to be around in 3 to 5 years, if you actually want to build passive income, like we talk about, with a quality cover, quality writing, quality editing, your book will be around. Remember, it's ghostwriting. It's not just some short-term flip-flopping piece of garbage. This is a legit business where you can have ghostwriting and you can create a product, and that product could sell for 1 year or 1 decade or 50 years.
We got a comment from Justin K, parentheses MM. I pay my cover designer $20 per cover, and it's totally worth it. If the cover looks really compelling, then it will sell the book. So Justin's killing it. Justin knows the deal. He actually has some really, really awesome covers. And if I'm correct, isn't Justin a pretty young guy?
Justin's like 14.
And he's got this, and I was looking at his books the other day.
He's entrepreneur. You know, I like awesome. Justin a lot. He's the man. You know, he's part of the KBA. I gifted it to him because he's such an amazing. Well, we gifted it to him because he's such an amazing entrepreneur. And Justin's killing it. And he's paying $20 because Justin wants to be selling these books when he's 24, 25. He's like 14,
did you see his covers? Did you see how good his covers were? I looked at them.
He's sharing them in our community, and it's amazing.
I was literally about to PM you the other day, Justin, and say, holy mackerel, where did you get that cover done, man? And I'm not going to shout out his niche or anything because I'm not sure if he wants me to, but I was looking at a few of his books, and they were 50,000 rank, 40,000 rank, and they were clean. They were really clean. So Justin, man, you're killing it. So we definitely appreciate you being here. Let's see, Jacob Lamore. I saw a Kindle book about Kombucha tea. Is that how you pronounce it? Curing cancer. On the cover was a photo of iced tea with lemons. What are your thoughts on that, Cody?
You know, personally, I've never done any of the cancer stuff.
I'd stay away from it.
I've never you know, it's such a touchy topic that I would rather those be written by MDs, you know, people who know. So I do like self-help, fitness. I do all these different things, but I don't really do, you know, I write books on things that I know and not things that, you know, I'm not familiar with.
And like I said, too, when I first started, I made the mistake of writing books on touchy subjects. And I mean, it's when you write a book like that, and you're not really an expert in it, it just doesn't feel right. It almost feels unethical to a sense. And then you got to be worrying about, you know, what if this isn't, you know, actually going to help someone or make a difference? So honestly, I would say 99% of the time, stay away from those types of things. I like to stay in like the money field, the arts and crafts, the hobbies, you know, photography and stuff like that, and business. Like those are the things I like to stay around, because at least, you know, I could actually quality control it, and it's just less risky in my opinion. Like I said, I created a book on asthma when I first started, and it was ranked really high, but it just wasn't selling that much, because a lot of those medical problems, why are you going to go to Kindle and get a book on that, right? Go see your doctor, you know?
Yeah.
So I would honestly stay away from it. Could you make money on topics like that? Yeah, I'm sure you could, but it just doesn't feel right to me. So honestly, I'd stay away from it.
One thing to touch on real quick is we love doing these shows for you guys, but we've got 7 thumbs up, 4 thumbs down, which is fine. But we got like 30 people watching. So if you guys want more, let us know by giving a thumbs up. If you don't want more, we don't have to do them. You know, we want to do more of these for you guys. So give us a thumbs up if you like them. We got some awesome topics. Also, we asked that if you have topics you want us to touch on in these shows, leave them in the comments. And we're kind of keeping some lists together of future shows, because we plan on doing this show, you know, maybe bi-weekly, weekly, depending upon how it goes. So give it a thumbs up and leave what kind of shows you want us to do in the bottom if you want us to keep doing these.
Yeah, we've got Savine Schill in the comments. Hey guys, joining late. Hopefully I didn't slaughter your name. Appreciate you being here. We also have Louis the Seller in the house. And Louis is awesome. He's doing Amazon FBA. I think he's doing eBay, Kindle. So he's an entrepreneur doing his thing. Shout out to Louis. But moving on, let's actually keep on our topic real quick, because we're running out of time. And I want to talk a little bit more about cover creation and whatnot. So let me actually ask you, Cody, is it important to choose, and this is going to be a stupid question, but is it important to choose royalty-free images when you're using your covers? Because I see a lot of people just using images off Google, and they're kind of just stealing photos. What could happen if maybe you get a strike against you, or Amazon finds out, or a company who posted that picture finds out that you're using it to monetize and make money off of it? What could happen?
3 things will happen. The first one, if you're lucky, you'll lose your account. You know, you'll get suspended, you'll lose your account. You can actually get sued, and Amazon can pull all the money you've made from that book, and legally you'll have to pay it to that company. So not only can you get sued for damages, you can also get sued for any money you made. You can lose your account altogether. I guess the best thing that could happen to you, I should say, is they pull the book and you're out the money of the book, you know, the cover and the writing and everything. But yeah, I mean, it's the worst thing you could do. You have to have royalty-free images, or you literally are risking financial lawsuits and loss of your account.
So I like to use a few different websites. The main website that I'm using right now and I'm subscribed to, I think it's about $97 a month or $67 a month. I'm not sure what it is, but it's depositphoto.com. And I'm not sure what the price was, but pretty much they got different subscription plans where you could pay to get a certain amount of downloads of the pictures per month. So for example, they'll give you 100 downloads per month, and you could download as many as you want today. You could download all 100 in one day, but then you have no more left for the month. Or you could get subscription plans, at least for this website, and it seems like it's pretty consistent with other websites. Or you can buy a subscription plan in terms of how many you could download per day. So I've got my plan. It's either 67 or 97 a month, something like that. Probably wouldn't recommend going that high if you're new, but I've been doing this for a while and I'm making some good money now. But I could download 10 images per day, and it's really, really good to have these images because you could use them for your cover. You could use them for create space, for bundling. You can use them for pictures inside of your book, for promotions, for flyers, for anything that you do. So I highly recommend that you check out some sites. So I use depositphotos.com. There's also a few other ones like what's it called? Shutterstock, I believe. Fotolia with an F, iStockphoto.com. So they're all going to range in different prices and whatnot, but pretty much the subscriptions, there's 3 different subscriptions. There's downloads per day. There is just overall, like you get tokens to buy ones here and there. And then there's like the monthly subscription. So I definitely recommend looking into them. If you're making, you know, over $500 a month and you've got a good amount of books, I definitely look into it. If not, make sure your graphic designers are getting the photos from royalty-free sites. You don't want them just grabbing things off the internet. And this is the thing about business. If you just pretend like you don't know and just act like, oh, they're going to do the right thing, a lot of times they won't. You've got to be on this stuff. So create
and templates. You're responsible. You are the one responsible, not even your designer. You'll lose out, and that's just it.
Exactly. So when you get your covers done, Cody, what do you do to prevent this? Do you let them know, or do you get proof, or like how do you go about this?
I get proof a lot of times, so I'll have them prove where they got the photo, or I'll have them submit, you know. And I interview my graphic designers similar to my writers, and which is part of the reason I stopped using Fiverr. In fact, at this point, I've replaced probably 60% of my Fiverr covers. Yeah. So all my old Fiverr covers I've pretty much been getting rid of as quick as I can. And because I know there's a lot of people on Fiverr that are just pulling random images thinking it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're just giving you a cover, but it's not okay. And don't think because the image is altered that it's okay, because if you took that image, they can prove that they took it. So I would get a link. I would get proof. A lot of times they'll submit, you know, hey, I'm part of this site and this, and really build relationships with your designer. It's really important than getting random stuff, because it literally can cost you too much. I had this problem too. I had a couple things that were questionable, and that's been my issue with getting these cheap covers. That's why I don't do it really anymore.
Yeah, a few things I've done is I've only used Fiverr gigs through people who are offering to let you use their royalty-free image service. So there's a few Fiverr gigs that allow you to do that. So you can actually go to the website, choose the link, give it to them, and then they'll actually download it, because you can't download it if you don't have a subscription. And then you could have it go that way. Other things I've done is I've actually downloaded the images that I've wanted. So maybe I'm going to hire out 20 covers or something, because I do a lot of my work in bundles now. I'd actually download them all into a single file, upload them to a Google Drive, and then share that with my designer as well. Another thing you could do is just give your designer access to your account if you trust them, and they can download it. And the cool thing about like Deposit Photo is it actually tracks what photos you've downloaded, so you can actually see what they're doing and whatnot. But that's pretty much it. We're going to close things up. I'm going to go into the comment section, see if I could shout anybody out. While I'm looking, do you have any anything you want to say, Cody?
No, the key is quality. Like I always say this, guys, you know, if you're just getting started, make sure you start with one book, then go to 2, then 3. Don't worry about what your business is going to look like with 10 books or 100 books. Worry about one book and one good quality book. You know, there's plenty of people who've written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books and make really, really good incomes. Don't think you need to have 500 books and to be making money. So, you know, quality trumps quantity every single time.
Yeah, my last word is you don't have to publish a ton of books. Fortunately, you have people like Cody and I and others out there who have created courses who have been through the process and can kind of teach you some things that they've done that made mistakes. I mean, I made a lot of mistakes learning this whole process. It wasn't long ago. You can check it out on rakeandprofit.com. You can check out my old videos. It wasn't long ago where I was making $200-300 a month. And now last month I just did over $7,000 in royalties. And that's not to brag or boast, but that's really listen, you know, if you're starting off square one, only making a few $100, you succeed. And I think it's really important that you invest in your education, that you watch YouTube videos, that you surround yourself with other people, get into Facebook groups, get a community. I can't say it enough, but my whole process of quitting my job and just becoming an entrepreneur, the backbone to that has always been the community. It's been interacting with people, like-minded people, and learning from them and really growing in unison together. So I can't say it enough. If you guys want to learn more about Kindle publishing, there's a lot of courses out there. There's a lot of free content, but we also have a course that we just launched recently, less than a week ago, called the K Business Academy, hence the name, K Business Academy Live Show. And you could find out more information by going to kbusinessacademy.com. And you can learn some more information there about what we have, what we offer. It's pretty much a video training membership course, one-time fee, no upsells, no, additional payments you have to make. You get it all and more, updated videos, 26 modules, over 50 videos, case studies, updates every month, live hangouts that are just for the community, and you also get a community of Facebook groups. So we've pretty much created the ultimate resource for exactly what we wish we had a year ago when we started. And I think Cody's been doing it for longer than I have. So we're here to help. We're here to give back, make a difference. Whatever you guys need, you know, you could always, you know, we're real people. You can reach out to us on social media, Facebook, Twitter. I know you have a Facebook, right, Cody? Cody Hawk?
Yeah, Cody H. Hawk.
Yeah. I'm at Rake and Profit. I mean, you can email us. We're real people. If you have questions, we'll help you out. But yeah, we appreciate you taking your time. And I'm going to pass it off to Cody to close it off. But we really had a lot of fun talking to you. And we'll be in the comments, answer some more questions as well.
Yeah, any questions you guys got, leave them down below. Like Steve said, connect with us on social media. And we appreciate you guys taking about 40 minutes of your time checking this out. Also, like I said before, leave topic ideas if you get a chance down below, and we'll be looking at those for future episodes. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
All right, guys, keep up the great work, and thanks for watching. Bye.